Welcome to Somewhat Nerdy Radio. We are your hosts. I am Snarf Chris.
And I am Critter.
Why did you say it like that?
Because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas time. We are doing the 12 nights.
12 days. You're still in Halloween mode.
Still in Halloween mode. We are doing the 12 days of Christmas. So what we're going to do, just like we did with Halloween, we're going to give you 12 movies to watch starting on the 14th.
14th, yep.
And you watch a new movie every day for the marathon. And obviously, as we always do, we post everything on social media. But this is a critter list, as usual, which is some of the best podcasts we do.
Now, I'm real proud of this list, okay?
It's good.
I'll talk about that once we finish this little housekeeping thing we got going on.
Go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the podcast apps. Go leave us a review. We are now posted on YouTube.
Which has been a pain.
Yeah, it's been kind of a pain because they don't like that we fair use music or trailers, really.
Yeah, there's music in trailers. They're like, you're stealing music. What?
So if you're on there and you notice something's like silent for a little bit, it's because they cut it out, or I had to cut it out. So we're working on a way to get it on YouTube and presentable, and not 2 minutes of silence every once in a while for no reason whatsoever.
That's so off-putting.
It really is.
What happened?
So imagine us introducing a movie and just nothing happens.
Here's a movie.
So
wasn't that great?
It wasn't that great. That's a great trailer. So yeah, we're working on that. We are also on Amazon Podcast now, so you can download it on there, Spotify, all the podcast apps. And before we get into the Christmas times, I obviously want to say thank you again for the positive response around the Halloween podcast, the Scream podcast that came out last month. And I want to point that out too. We recorded that and released that before all the Scream drama.
Yes.
And then the Scream drama happened right after.
Honestly, it's kind of good timing on
Yeah,
this.
it was really good timing.
Because
That was not planned.
We're like, ranked. Where's 7 going to be? Doesn't matter.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the 12 Days of Christmas.
Before we get into the list, I want to talk about this list. Mm-hmm. Now, Christmas is a lot harder than Halloween because, as you know, Halloween you can just put in horror movies and be like, yeah, that fucking works.
Yeah, if there's blood or something scary, Halloween movie.
And Christmas is a little bit tougher.
You can't just put happy movies in it.
It's arguable. I mean, I took some liberties here, but. There's so many lists. There's one that's like 100 best Christmas movies, and they have like basically everything you could possibly think of. Mm-hmm. And so there's kind of a cap on how many times we can actually make this Christmas episode because it's like there's only so many fucking movies. But I rallied and I found, I think, at least 2 that are on no lists and one that's on lists rarely.
Yeah.
I've personally never seen one, at least that I can remember. Mm-hmm. But it's possible it exists, but not to what I can remember. Mm-hmm. But I'm super proud that I found at least 2 movies that aren't on lists. So, are they good? It's debatable.
Should they be on a list? Debatable.
Debatable. But they should be on a list because I wanted to dig a little deep and have something that wasn't on a Christmas list that was a super Christmas movie.
Right. We're going to go ahead and go into the first day, Spirited, from 2022.
How did you know all that?
I didn't. I was just following you.
You were following me?
Yeah.
Oh, I messed up in the middle there.
Yeah, tap is new for me. It's a very expressive medium. What is all of this?
I am your ghost of Christmas present.
Like a Christmas Carol? What do you think I'm going to be all intrigued by what's behind the door?
Not even a little bit curious?
Damn it!
My first save? There was this little sick kid. What did they call him?
It was Tiny Tim.
No. Sweet kid, one crutch.
No.
Little Larry.
No, Tiny Tim.
Micro Mike. Super small Steve.
Holy.
Spirited is a musical starring Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell, and you can get this on Apple.
It is, honestly, like when I watched this, I was so surprised. I was so pleasantly surprised. I wasn't surprised it was good. Mm-hmm. I was pleasantly surprised how much fun it was.
How much I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
really.
it was a musical, And Christmas has a lot of musicals.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to get away from musicals during Christmas. But goddamn, were these songs fun? I want to listen to "Good Afternoon." I just want to listen to it. I'll be like that person that's like musical theater in my car. It's fucking "Good Afternoon."
Good reveals in this movie. It's hilarious. Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell work really, really, really well together too.
Yeah.
Have they been anything else?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I
know.
can't think of anything.
Just two funny dudes hanging
Two
out,
funny
man.
dudes.
Two bros.
It's a kind of a new take on the Christmas Carol story,
But not really.
because
Christmas Carol exists as a movie, as a story, and but this is just like normal things for them to happen, and it's great. It's very, and I think that has the added benefit of it being meta. So it's not like like you brought this up a couple things ago, where Santa Claus doesn't exist in. Like, he just exists in movies, and in movies they're like, no, Santa Claus doesn't exist, and these are children's movies, and you're sitting there with your kids like, yes.
Yeah, it's a constant struggle watching Christmas movies with kids that obviously still, as they should, believe in Santa.
Right, and then, so this is kind of cool, because it kind of like, hey, everything exists, the movies exist, everything you know already exists, but we're adding to it, and it's just an addition to Charles Dickens.
And there's a
Christmas
good reveal
Carol.
at the end of the movie, and it doesn't end how you think it's going. And that's kind of the beauty of this movie. It's a little bit more in depth and serious that you would think it would turn into.
But super funny.
But super
God, is
funny,
it funny. Yeah. I laughed a lot during this movie. I really, really enjoyed it. Next up on our second day of Christmas. What are you laughing at?
Second day.
On our second day of Christmas.
Make sure you get it right, Chris. The second day. Good.
On the second day of Christmas, we have one I pulled deep for. And this is the 2000 gem from the year 2000. This gem of a movie, Reindeer Games, starring Ben Affleck and Charlize Theron. And God, so many other people.
We walk out of here. What's the first thing you're gonna do? Go out and get myself a mug of hot chocolate. A piece of pecan pie, right?
He was a reformed ex-con who wanted to start a new life.
You, Ashley? I've been dreaming about that smile for so long.
She was the girl of his dreams.
When I read what you wrote to me, I said, here's a guy they say is a criminal, but he's not.
When I get back in that room, you better be wearing nothing but a candy cane.
Welcome home, convict. Hey, sis.
But between them and happiness
What do you want from me? I read your letters, convict.
He knows you worked at that casino.
stands a team of criminals who wanted to take down the state's richest casino.
It's just my luck. Finally meet a boy that I'm crazy about, and my brother wants him worse than I do.
You want to hear about some job of mine? I want some hot chocolate and some pecan pie.
Let's start talking.
I can really go for some onion rings.
What started out as love
Do you remember all those letters you wrote me about me and you against the whole world? We can have it all if you just give him what he wants.
could end up in murder.
What did you think's gonna happen? This thing's gonna be over? He's just gonna let me go? He's gonna shoot me in the back of the head like this.
You're gonna give me a disguise.
You're sending me into an Indian casino dressed like a cowboy.
It was that or a ballerina.
Hey,
He was talking to the managers like this.
Something tells me you're not being totally honest with me.
Rule one, never put a car thief behind the wheel.
Ben Affleck, Gary Sinise, Charlize Theron. In the new thriller from John Frankenheimer.
wow.
Reindeer Games.
This does star like 5 million different actors you're going to recognize.
Yeah, and then somehow it's still just not a super great movie, but when you watch it, you're like, man, this is actually
fun.
pretty good,
Yeah,
but
it's
why
okay.
is all these good actors acting so poorly?
Yeah. This almost seemed like a paycheck movie.
It was a paycheck movie
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah. Obviously, Batfleck's in this movie. He's young. It's weird to see him in this movie because I've recently watched this movie. And he's young. And then Danny Atreyu's in the movie. And he looks exactly like he has still now.
Yeah, he looks the same.
And then Lieutenant Dan.
Gary Sinise, who bulked up for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He got yoked up. Just tons of people. Ashton Kutcher's in it.
Yeah.
For a hot minute. Nothing fancy. There's a sweet little Easter egg of Walter Goggins in here before he becomes like kind of big.
Who?
Walter Goggins. He's in the new Fallout series. He's playing the guy missing the nose and the.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
He's
right.
in Vice
yeah,
Principals
yeah.
and.
Yeah. I like him.
And Righteous Gemstones, Predators.
Yeah,
I want a fucking gun.
Yeah, you can get this on Max, HBO, or is it just?
It's just Max now.
That's stupid.
It's stupid. All this rebranding, just you're HBO to
it's
us.
HBO. Yeah. Yeah. This is a movie I haven't watched in a long time. I've probably seen this movie when it came out, and then it's a Affleck movie, which I like Ben Affleck, so I do watch a lot of his movies. This movie I always forget about.
Yeah, I forgot that there's a lot of boobies in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of boobies.
So there's a little Christmas tree
and there's a little bit Ben Affleck butt.
Yeah, there's a tree for everybody.
So it's a little bit for everything, or whatever you're into.
For everybody, that's it. And I think it encompasses everybody.
On the third day of Christmas, we have The Christmas Chronicles 2 from 2020.
You're on hallowed ground here. You're about to witness something that no one else on Earth has ever seen before.
Let's see if they can handle this! Guess this is your lucky day, you cat.
Welcome to the North Pole.
Santa!
Kate Pierce. How did you get here? You and Jack are supposed to be on vacation with your family.
Our shuttle fell into this wormhole.
Have a nice trip.
Are you Mrs. Claus? What is that thing?
Use an F.
You're in Santa's village, the real one.
Wow, this is incredible.
We have over 300,000 shops in the village.
Whoa.
Everyone designed by Mrs. Claus.
She designed this place. I think it should be called Mrs. Claus's Village. Me too.
Well, I never thought of that.
Of course you didn't.
What is that?
That is the Christmas star.
Created by the forest elves in 312 AD.
The star protects us and keeps us hidden.
And I'm here to steal it.
What's happening?
I'm gonna make everybody forget that the North Pole and Santa Claus ever existed.
Belsnickel. This is bad. Without the star, the North Pole, the village, Christmas is doomed.
Like for this year?
Like forever.
We can't let that happen. Christmas must endure. Let's do this. We have to stop him.
Hold on tight. This might get a little rough.
Isn't it dangerous out there?
I'm arming you with these.
You're arming me with cookies.
You spend every hour of every year getting ready for one lousy day.
Come on! A day that brings joy to children all over the world. And that will never change.
Sometimes I think you actually enjoy these little dangerous escapades.
Hands down, the best on-screen Santa Claus ever.
Dude in his suit is just like, I'm like, I kind of want that.
Yeah.
I kind of want that fucking suit.
It's Kurt Russell is playing Santa Claus. This is a sequel that he plays with his wife.
Yep.
Yeah. Goldie Hawn.
Yep.
It plays Miss Claus.
Yep.
Why couldn't I think of her name?
I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
But yeah, this kind of continues the story of it's not the same cast as the first one. As he's moved on to another group of kids.
Nope, same kids.
Is it the same?
Same kids.
Yeah, they are. They're true believers. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so they're the
I
same.
just watched this movie like 3 days ago.
Yeah, they're the same kids. What I love about this movie, which is available on Netflix, by the way, is that this is a Chris Columbus.
Yeah.
So he is no stranger to Christmas movies. You have definitely seen Home Alone, Home Alone 2, and Lord knows how many other movies this guy has had his hand in.
Harry Potter.
Yes, the first two, and produced pretty much all the rest. But he's every movie that you probably have liked from a child on, he has done. Has had a hand in.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think he did.
Maybe. I would have to look at his
I'm just going to guess on that and say I'm right.
IMDb page.
Yeah, sure.
But super great.
Kurt Russell should always play Santa Claus. They can make these movies forever. They haven't made one in
3 years.
3 years, but I don't know how well they did.
Well, they're Netflix, so it's hard to track. But
yeah.
I mean, the other thing is what I really like about it is the elves were just like freaking weird.
Yeah.
But they explain where elves came from, where they explain a lot more about the Santa lore and his village and things like that. And do we need that information? No, but it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's fun.
Just add it on, a little cherry on the top.
Let's be real. This isn't like a super great movie.
Yeah, the first one's a lot better. Yeah, the first one's way
But I mean,
better.
just in general, these movies are good.
Yeah.
But they're not like, oh yeah, this is going to be like a staple of my holiday watching for the rest of my life.
First one is a staple for us.
For
now.
you,
yeah,
really?
we watch it with my family like every single year.
Okay,
Even
yeah, it is
my
good.
kids ask for this movie particularly. They always go the Elf movie, not like Elf, Buddy the Elf.
Oh,
it's like an Elf.
Which is a funny thing. There is a scene in this movie where the elves turn evil because of Elfbane.
Yeah.
And there's a movie theater in the Elf Village, and when they're cleaning up, when they turn back to good, they remove the bad Santa now playing in that theater to Elf.
That's true. What's the name of what's the kid that plays in the movie? He was in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah.
He's just funny.
Yeah, he was funny, and there was a lot of good little bits and pieces in this. On our fourth day of Christmas, this one was a fun one. This was from 2015. This was The Night Before.
Merry Christmas! Happy Hanukkah!
What's Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is Jewish, like me.
Is that why you look different?
What was that? Come again?
You just look funny.
I look funny. You ever see The Shining?
Gonna be a great father.
Gentlemen, this is our last Christmas together. Isaac's sacrificing his own life. This is for you.
A Wu-Tang onesie?
Yeah. And ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
They can hear that.
And Chris is just too fucking famous.
Dude, I am such a fan. Wow. Sorry. I'm like jizzing all over you. I'm getting like jizzy. Sorry.
No. Jizz all over me. I like that shit.
It's gonna be the best night of our lives.
It's your last Christmas together before the baby comes. Get fucking wild, you know?
I got the refunds. You have one joint? She doesn't know that much about drugs. The proportions of this shit is all off. Hey, Ma, it's Chrissy Poo.
Chris, what are you guys doing?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, you smell like weed.
No. Could I have some more Chardonnay to wash down my medication, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
You're dealing with some shit you can't come to terms with. You got a great bud with surprisingly accurate visions of the future.
Sit down. The show's about to start.
Who is that?
It's our beautiful baby girl.
What? The fuck?
Pop your pussy. You hear me, young lady?
It's okay, sweetie. You don't have to pop your pussy.
Drip, drop.
I know. Look at my finger. You need to give me $100 and get the fuck out of my car right now.
Okay. Here.
How fucked up are you right now?
Hallelujah.
Not that kind of church.
No.
Fuck.
Fucking kid over here. Look away, dude. Look away.
Don't hiss at a kid.
He's fucking with me.
You can catch this on Tubi, which if you don't know what Tubi is, you should get on it because it has a lot of great stuff on there.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And if you love horror movies, like unknown horror movies, you should have Tubi.
Yeah, and you know, is there ads? Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, nothing's cut.
It's free.
And nothing's cut. It's not like watching something on television with commercials like, we're going to cut all the good stuff. No, they just add commercials in there every now and then. But super great app. Check it out. But this one was so much fun.
This has Falcon, Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
It has Robin.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, and the Green Hornet.
It's Seth Rogen. Yes, correct.
Just pick the three of their most... No, Anthony Mackie, that's probably where you'll know him from. But yeah, this is a stoner, drunk, Christmas Eve, Christmas story about three best friends that have a tradition of every Christmas they go together, they go out and get drunk, party. And then as they've gotten older, obviously separated, and this is going to be the last time they do this.
Now, the debauchery didn't start because they're just like, hey, we're just going to get drunk because it's fun. Joseph
It's
Gordon,
a heartwarming reason.
His parents get killed in a car wreck on Christmas Eve, and so like they take him out to make him feel better, and that's kind of how the tradition started. And now everyone has their family, and they're trying to move on, and you know, there's learning, there's growth, there's humans.
There's a weird supernatural take on this movie too. This
Yeah.
is almost like a Christmas Carol movie too.
Yeah, but the Michael Shannon character is fantastic.
It really is. It took me a second when I was watching this movie for the first time because they sit in a car with him, and he's a drug dealer in this, and I'm like, man, I know who that is. I was like, oh, that's Zod.
Yes.
So Zod's in this movie too.
There you go, Michael Shannon Zod.
But yeah, no, the movie's really good. It's heartfelt. It's
hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
There are other times I'm just laughing out loud.
And
at
I don't particularly care for Seth Rogen sometimes. Most of his movies are hit or miss with me.
I love him.
Yeah,
I love the dude.
It's all right.
I think I just like him. I like him in a lot of movies. Does he have annoying characters a lot of the time? Yeah, but I feel like he's just kind of playing himself. But it's funny. And maybe people just don't want to see it all the time. But I think it's hilarious. And also, I just really respect him as a person in Hollywood with the projects that he touches. Because he pulls deep. Every good project that's out, that's been comic book related, but not mainstream.
Doesn't he do Invincible?
He does Invincible. He does The Boys.
Yeah, that's right.
He was part of Preacher.
That's right.
He was executive producers on all this shit.
Preacher, I don't know if we should put that one in
whatever
the categories, but
whatever, dude. Don't be like great movie, hilarious. Fuck you, Chris.
And on the 5th day, we have Night of the Comet from 1984.
Did you ever wonder what it would be like to be one of the last people on Earth?
We're talking Ghost Town!
Who would you see?
There's nobody. There's nobody.
What would you do?
Hey, I'm sorry if the end of the world makes me a little nervous.
Where would you go?
The stars are open!
Well, get ready to find out, because the comet is coming into your orbit.
The legal drinking age is now 10, but you will need ID. Let's be real.
It's the Night of the Comet.
What do you give me if I come back?
Texas?
Night of the Comet.
I'll be taking requests from all you teenage comet zombies.
The night the teenagers ruled the world.
Yeah!
Night of the Comet.
The burden of civilization is on us.
Fiction, isn't it?
This is obviously my pick on the list.
It's very true.
I was randomly watching this movie one day, and there was a scene. This is a couple of months ago, I think now.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where there was Christmas lights in the background, and I'm like, wait, is this a Christmas movie that we never realized? And I instantly Googled it, and I found 2 websites.
Oh, no, I've seen this on several lists.
They bull.
Nobody
now talks about this as a Christmas movie.
Swear to God. I swear to God, several lists.
Really good.
And it's barely a Christmas. It does take place during Christmas. Christmas Eve, in fact. And why are? By the way, I have a bone to pick with Night of the Comet with how high score works on that video. It doesn't work like that. She's like, who's 6th place? Who's DMK? And so she goes in the morning and plays after the comet passes, and everyone turns to dust, and she doesn't know it yet. And she's playing this game, and it's like, oh, I beat the 6th place score, and she replaced that guy's name with hers. That's not how high scores work. It just pushes everyone down. She had to beat that shit so many more times to knock it off the top 10. It was bullshit, and it bothered me the whole goddamn movie. Oh, everything else was fine. Every other bullshit thing that happened in that movie, talking zombies that either ate or didn't eat people, it was very confusing.
Yeah, it is.
They had sometimes super strength, sometimes not. Sensitive to light.
This is a rotation movie for me. I watch this movie pretty regularly. It is the epitome of the 80s to me, the whole entire movie. And this is a movie I watched since the early 90s whenever I found the movie. And I'm really mad this is the first time, as long as we've been doing this podcast, that we've ever talked about this movie and that I thought it was a movie.
Well, it's not Arnold or Ghostbusters. So.
Yeah, I realize that. Which is the only 2 things we ever talk about.
We talk about that every goddamn episode.
And this is just wait. And this is, like I said, it's barely a Christmas movie, but it takes place during Christmas. And you haven't seen this movie. I mean, this is from the 80s. It's kind of a classic horror movie. So kind of a classic.
I would say it is, but I mean, like it's. I think it gets overshadowed by They Live and
everything else.
During that time. And this is kind of almost like a Kmart special of They Live. I mean, it's not quite, but the kind of monsters, a lot of sunglass action, a lot of monsters. Yeah. Are they zombies? Are they not zombies? Are they aliens? Are they not aliens? It's fucking weird.
Yeah, she does get pulled over by police, zombies. There are zombies that talk, and there's zombies. Yeah, like you said earlier, it's a weird movie. I love this movie now. So.
Yeah, it's worth watching, especially if you like 80s horror. This is something if you haven't seen, you should absolutely watch. This and Night of the Creeps, unrelated, but they're also very close.
It's got that line that everybody knows now. Your boyfriends are here. Bad news is they're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the great line from that
And
movie.
also, their zombies are from space.
Yeah,
What is this movie? It's fucking 80s, man. On the 6th day of Christmas, we have something I can't believe we haven't talked about before. But this also is one of the ones it's Christmas movie, but it just because it kind of takes place during Christmas. Not necessarily that it is like Christmas. And it's Edward Scissorhands from 1990.
This is some huge house, isn't it? Hello? Why are you hiding back there? You don't have to hide from me. I'm as harmless as cherry pie. Those are your hands? Those are your hands. I think you should just come home with me.
Joyce, I just saw this strange guy driving with Peg. Did you get a good look at it?
Hi! Scissors.
Whoa! Heck of a handshake you got there, Ed.
Kim, this is Edward, who's gonna live with us.
Well, this must be quite a change for you, right, Ed?
Those things are cool.
Can I bring him to show and tell on Monday?
He's a highly imaginative character. It seems clear that his awareness of what we call reality is radically underdeveloped.
Eddie, you take my very breath away. Do you have a girlfriend?
Is there some special lady in your life?
Hey! Call a doctor. He skewered Kim.
Just a scratch. The power of Satan is in him. I can feel it.
Drop your weapon!
All along, I felt in my gut there was something wrong with him.
From Tim Burton comes the most incredible tale of a most unusual character. Edward Scissorhands.
Hold me. I can't.
Yeah, this was the one that was on the list when you sent it to me. And like, no, we did that already. And always, as usual, got to go back to the list and be like, oh, I can't wait to catch that motherfucker. Wrong.
I have the lists. I look at them.
Yeah, this is a movie that obviously it's towards the end of the movie that takes place during Christmas because, I mean, the beginning of it, I think, is during the summer and everything like that. And I think that's why most people don't consider this a Christmas movie, but it's 100% a Christmas movie.
And well, it's Tim Burton, which has strong winter Christmas vibes anyway.
Right.
You know, I mean, between Batman Returns and A Nightmare Before Christmas, and him just being
Tim Burton.
Tim
Burton-y.
It's Halloween, Christmas. It's like that's Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
Just those two holidays just mashed into one. It's great.
I mean, this is kind of a.
I don't really have a whole lot to say about it because it's just kind of like, hey, it's
early Johnny Depp with. On top of that, it has one of the last appearances from Vincent Price, and that's kind of where I always stick at this movie. It's like one of the last movies.
It was his last movie.
It was his last movie, yeah. And he was old in this movie.
He was old. You could tell he was struggling through each scene.
He probably had to get his lines read to him right before he said them, like Marlon Brando style. So
he's just reading off the baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Watch Your Mouth.
Get that reference. You're right. There's not much to say. This is Edward Scissorhands, classic.
And you got your classic people. It's got Winona Ryder, what is it? Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Just classic 80s people in this movie. Super good Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
Weird and
fun.
This
is before Tim Burton turned to Tim Burton. And this is a very Tim Burton movie.
I don't know, man. I feel like Batman Returns was the least Tim Burton-y movie.
Yeah, it probably is.
I take it back. Batman was the least Tim Burton-y movie ever.
I'll give you that. Yeah, not Batman Returns.
Because he went, okay, we're going Tim Burton now. And by the way, Edward Scissorhands is available on Max, HBO. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Max.
HBO.
HBO Max, HBO Go fuck yourself, HBO. Figure your shit out.
And on the 7th day of Christmas, End of Days from 1999.
December 31st, 1999. The end of a century. The end of a millennium. The beginning of the end.
He's coming for you, Christine. Can you see him?
Who are you? How do you know my name?
He's gonna find you, Christine.
Get down on the ground!
You don't know what you've done!
You said here the guy spoke to you.
Yeah, so what?
The guy doesn't have a tongue.
Listen to this. I've seen the earth laid to waste. Take it easy. We're the good guys.
They tried to kill me. Why?
She's been chosen.
Chosen for what?
If the Dark Angel consummates your flesh with this human body before midnight on New Year's Eve, then he unlocks the gate of hell.
I've come for my wife, Christine.
May God forgive us! Let her go.
How can you expect to defeat me when I am forever and you are just a man?
This was one of my stretches.
This is a stretch. This is a goal of ours to get Schwarzenegger on
as many lists as possible.
This takes place 3 or 4 days after Christmas.
Yep.
There's Christmas lights at the beginning of the movie.
And Christmas songs.
It
says Happy Holidays on it.
Yep. So we're considering this a Christmas movie.
It's and the Jesus is involved somehow.
Jesus
it's
is involved.
Antichrist stuff.
So if you haven't seen this movie, this is the first movie Arnold did right after playing Mr. Freeze. So it was after his heart surgery and stuff like that. And then he came back with this weird movie.
Honestly, I loved it.
I actually love this movie. This is another one of those rotation movies. I probably watch it about once a year.
It's one of the weirder Arnold Schwarzenegger movies that it's like a little bit darker.
It's way darker.
And like you just don't see this kind of thing.
It's way darker in tone, and it's just a dark movie.
Yeah.
If you ever watch that movie, it is hard to see scenes in this movie because there's like this dark. The lighting was terrible in this movie.
Yeah, and this was before the lighting terrible was like a big thing in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's too dark to see. They were trying to make shit be seen.
But this is a weird horror movie, which is rare for, Arnold too. Obviously it did later Maggie and stuff like that, but like this is a horror movie that takes place in New York City with the Antichrist and Lucifer and weird incest sex scenes.
Yeah, that was really weird. That morphed together into a single blob.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what happened with that. But it's action, Arnold action movie that takes place not during Christmas, but in between Christmas and New Year's.
You're still on the Christmas high.
Yeah.
You're still singing the songs, still eating the leftovers.
My Christmas tree stays up until the end of January.
Yeah.
Until the end of January is usually when we're taking.
It's not like Halloween, the day after you put up your Christmas tree.
Yeah. That happened in my house.
That happened to a lot of people. I went over to my parents' house after Halloween, and the people that had like all their stuff set up in the yard, it was gone. I was like, who does that?
Mm-hmm.
You guys had an elaborate setup.
I think people are just, especially right now in the age that we're living in right now, it's just people are so ready to get jolly. Like it's Christmas makes everybody happy, so let's start getting happy as quick as possible.
That is 100% the opposite of what happens. It's seasonal depression for a reason.
I know. I don't have that. As soon as it starts turning Christmas time, I'm like, I love Christmas time. So.
Right. Well, movies help a lot because I do love Christmas movies, which is weird.
Yeah.
I think. Again, Spirited was just so good for me. That one is probably the one I'm going to take away.
There's another one. There's another one on the list that is my takeaway from this. So let's go ahead and get into the next movie.
By the way, End of Days is very hard to find, but you can rent it on Prime. All right, here we are. This is the most controversial. This is definitely one that is not on any list you will find for Christmas movies.
And probably a good reason for
that. And
that.
it's 100% a Christmas movie. It's not even debatable.
No, it's not debatable.
And it goes by 3 different names.
Yeah, depending on where in the world you are.
Yeah, so it's a Dutch movie called Sint. It's also in America as Saint, or I've seen it also as Saint Nick. And this is from 2010.
I'll see you tomorrow then. Well, if you're still around by then. Bye.
What did she mean by if you're still around?
It's a full moon tonight.
It happens only once every 32 years that there's a full moon on December 5th. Well, according to the legend, St. Nicholas comes to get you when there's a full moon on December 5th. Careful who you open your door for tonight. It might be the evil St. Nicholas.
Hey!
Oh, you really scared me.
Are your parents home?
Why?
So you can give me a present.
Yeah.
I'm scared. Timmy, St. Nicholas doesn't exist. I've told you 100 times.
We have to take action as a police force. We're here to protect the people.
Prohibition of all St. Nicholas activities.
Everyone thinks it's his birthday, but he died on the 5th of December. He was murdered, horribly murdered, and now he's back for revenge.
St. Nicholas Eve is nice, but you always get junk you don't really need.
We're all gonna die! I had a different St. Nicholas Eve in mind.
And you can find this on AMC Plus, weirdly.
He's very proud of himself for getting this on the list, but it's very hard for me to recommend you watch this movie. It's one of those movies now that it's so bad it's good.
It's got some cool scenes.
The
story is okay.
The story's okay. This was filmed in, what's the language they speak? Dutch?
Dutch.
And they redubbed it English. I can tell the Dutch they're speaking, they're acting bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then the overdub that they did over the Dutch language is also bad. So, and this, and we're going to kind of gloss over a certain part of this, but in the Dutch and Switzerland, there's the lore of Saint Nick and everything like that comes from partially a very racist stereotype. This movie manages to cut most of all that out and just not mention any of that.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to say about it. So
if you watch it, you'll know what we're talking about. Yeah. It's very clear.
And this is, look, it's every 23 years in
every
Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Yeah. St. Nick comes and kidnaps all the kids from their houses.
Yeah. And then lately it's like, oh, it's not just kids now. He's just getting ridiculous.
He's just murdering people through the city. And then the city knows about it.
Yeah, that was the thing. So, like, it gets kind of good, but the one cop that believes in it, the other cops that, like, oh, no, he's crazy. He's a crazy guy. He's gonna hurt somebody because he believes that St. Nick is real and is going to come and kill a bunch of kids, because apparently Saint Nick in the movie went and kidnapped children for whatever reason.
Yeah,
and they killed him, and so he comes back as a haunted demon every 23 years or something like that.
Not Freddy Krueger.
It kind of looked like Freddy Krueger a little bit. I mean, there was, like, the cops were like, oh no, he's crazy, but turns out the cops were like, oh, they knew about it and they have a plan for it. Why not incorporate that guy? Talk to him.
My biggest problem with this entire movie, the main guy, which I don't even care what his real name,
firing discharging his firearm in a building, and they're just like, hey, you need to come talk to me.
Oh yeah, that did happen. No, not the cop, the kid, the guy.
Frank, what I think.
Sure. He is set up to be a bad human being from the very start of the movie, and he ends up being the main character of the movie.
Yeah, he was a bag of shit.
Yeah, he's a bag of shit.
He's a bag of shit.
And he continues to be a bag of shit.
And I don't know why they help him. I don't know why they help him out, not the cop that was, like, helping people his entire career, and then, like, he's trying to help more people by saying, hey, this is happening. They're like, no, it's not happening, but it's totally happening. We shouldn't tell him, though. Let him go rogue, but let's follow him, make him seem like a crazy person. None of it makes sense.
So, like I said, this is a movie that's on our list. I am tremendously not recommending it, other than you listen to our podcast regularly and you know you like bad movies. This is a bad movie.
There's a cool chase scene.
There's a cool chase scene.
It has some moments.
There is some moments in this movie. Actually, I will give you, there are some moments where I'm like, oh, this might be getting good. And then that goes away really quickly.
Yeah, it does.
But more importantly, I don't think there's literally a review or anything about this movie. And it might be just because it's so bad, but it's not so bad that like it should be completely ignored. This is a movie you should probably watch if you like bad movies. I'm just more surprised I've never literally seen it on any.
Yeah, I know. This was it. And what's weird, I saw this back in 2010 when
Really?
Netflix. Yeah, it was on Netflix when Netflix first had streaming.
Yeah, they had a bunch of weird stuff on there.
And I still had the disc for the PlayStation.
Oh, good God.
That's
yeah.
how old the
Yeah,
streaming
yeah.
was. And that they just put, I guess they didn't have anything and they couldn't get rights to a lot of movies, so they just put junk.
Yeah, trauma movies used to be on Netflix.
Well, and they had stuff that was way worse than this
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there. And so, like, I remember they had a movie with that guy that played Debo from Friday.
Nice.
And he was a vampire hunter.
What?
He was a cop that was a vampire hunter. But they had people in the movie that had to have their logos blurred out of the scenes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's the best.
I was like, what?
That's the best.
Who in wardrobe was like, hey, no.
Let's go ahead and put that Nike on there. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, so this...
I gotta find that movie now.
This was around that time.
Okay, yeah,
So it was a Wild West.
Well, that would have been
Netflix.
like right before the downfall of Blockbuster and all that
Yep.
stuff. So straight to DVD movies, which
Yep.
was kind of a thing we don't get anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's too expensive to make movies now. So, except this movie. On the 10th day of Christmas, it is Frosty the Snowman from 1969. Nice.
Hey, look at the snow! Yeah.
It's cold and snowy.
Yeah, it's the best kind of snow, too. I like snow. Yeah.
That's good.
We're building a snowman, Karen. You make the head. The head is the most difficult part. Ask anyone.
What'll we call him?
Yeah, shall we call him Harold?
Bruce? Nah. Christopher Columbus?
Oh, no. Oatmeal?
Oatmeal?
How about Frosty?
Frosty?
Yeah, Frosty it is. Frosty the Snowman.
Yay!
Frosty the Snowman, what a happy, jolly soul.
And this is the classic one you probably watched your entire life. Why has this not been on the list, too? This is like seems like one of those classic ones you would have knocked out really quickly.
Well, I think it was because, like, Rudolph is kind of like, that's just on all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, that's going to make its list. But that's kind of one of those things that, you know, it was old for when we were kids.
Yeah.
So
1969, yeah.
And it's still around. I'm talking about Rudolph, too.
Oh, Rudolph, yeah.
So it's one of those, I kind of keep pushing it back. I push back a lot of the ones that, like, were a little before my time. I have no real reason why I choose stuff over others sometimes. Sometimes it's the first things I think of. And then I'm like, oh, I should have put this. But I was like, I already watched this. So, like, I don't have enough time to rewatch something.
Yeah, this is animation that I really dig, especially that 70s, you know,
It was
60s
a
animation.
weird animation, and
It is.
the vocal was weird because some people seemed to be mic'd up really well,
Yeah.
and other people not.
Again, nobody knew what the fuck they were doing back then. So
Like the main guy, which is
the narrator, or
the narrator. Man, what's his name? He's a famous old school comedian.
Jimmy Durante.
Durante. Yeah, him. He doesn't seem to be mic'd up very well.
No, this is again. I haven't watched this movie in a while, just because I've seen it 1,000 times. Is this when Frosty goes "Happy Birthday" every time he puts
Every
the hat?
time,
Okay,
it pissed me off. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it can't
Happy
always
birthday.
be. It can't always be your birthday.
Well, it's every day. He probably got born a bunch of different times, didn't he? Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Happy birthday! I do that to kids now when I put a hat on because of this movie.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He's very full of himself.
So yeah.
Oh, I did find it that the magician was a bit of a dick. Not because of him trying to get the hat back, but he was willing to kill the girl and the snowman and didn't give a shit. He just wanted that hat because
The snowman you probably don't have to care about because it's not a real human being, but.
Yeah, but that was the magic. I mean, the hat, it was on him. It didn't work for him. It worked on the snowman. If anything, you want the snowman to be around.
Actually, yeah, you can tour that into cities. You could have made money every Christmas. Think about it.
Put it on,
Missing all
happy
the money.
birthday. I mean, come on. He's just whatever. And so Santa was like, I'm not going to bring you any more presents. And he's like, what? No, not even. It's like, bro, you need the hat. You're not good. You're not a good magician. So you need the real magic hat. You suck and you're a murderer or attempted murder.
This will probably be on TV a bunch of times whenever you're watching it. It's also on. You can just buy this movie, right? It's not anywhere.
Yeah,
so.
I couldn't find it anywhere for rent or streaming, but it's on Vudu. But I'm sure if you have cable or anything, it's going to be on
100%
something.
be on the ABC's Family Channel or whatever.
And if you haven't seen it, what the hell?
Yeah, no. I mean, Frosties. Don't confuse this with some other Frosties.
And on the 10th day of Christmas, we have a new classic. One of Chris's new favorite movies, and it is from 2022, Violent Night.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the ranger do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
It's Christmas!
We decided that you could have one gift.
Early.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, revelers. Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go!
You have $300 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
I don't want any trouble, okay?
Something's gonna scooch up that chimney.
Who is he? Because it's not your typical mall Santa.
Santa, are you there? Daddy said you were very busy tonight. My name's Trudy Lightstone. Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list. Santa Claus is coming to town. Time for some season's beatings.
Who the hell are you?
Boss, what if he really is the
There
real...
is no such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give them a lump of coal.
Where is it?
I gotta watch.
But I believe in you, Santa.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
This legit. I didn't watch this when it came out last year. I don't know why I didn't, but
I don't know why either.
Yeah, it's got a Hellboy in it, which I love. A Harbor, but I watched this movie and it starts, and I don't know what I thought this movie was going to be because I thought Santa Claus was the Bill Goldberg where he's going to be killing people. As like the bad guy.
Right. No, I get you.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was going to be like a Home Alone, Home Siege.
Everything. It was Die Hard. It was
Die
Home
Hard.
Alone.
It has everything in it. Santa being stuck in a house, a mansion, was bad guys raiding the house and him having to...
It was Die Hard and Home Alone.
Yeah.
Mushed
merged
together.
This movie's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Actually, I love this movie. I think did I send you a text message about this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I'm kind of... This will now be a rotation for me.
It's fun. It's funny. It has a decent acting.
It's
over the top.
John Leguizamo's in it, which I always like seeing and everything. Yeah. And this is basically what the movie's about. It's like a rich family. They have a bunch of money hidden in the house, and Santa Claus happens to be there, drinking, getting drunk, and it gets raided by robbers and like mercenaries. So.
Yeah.
And then he just goes through the entire house, home aloneing and fist fighting, and
he was Die Harding, and the little girl is home aloneing.
Yes, that's true. Yes, true. But yeah, no, great. He's also really good at Santa Claus. I'm super cool with him. Yeah. I would like to see more of him as Santa Claus.
They kind of briefly did like a John Wick style from the very first John Wick movie. Kind of brushed into like some kind of alternative history, like a history of the character that you're like, oh man, I want to know more about that. Yeah. I mean, so there is something to showing him as a Viking warrior,
a Celtic Viking warrior,
and you're just kind of like, oh man, that kind of looks badass. I'd like to know more about that. And who knows, maybe they would do that.
I think they announced on part 2.
Not needed, don't care.
Yeah, I really don't need it. But I wouldn't mind. I
would definitely watch it, but I don't need it and I don't care about it.
Yeah, it kind of ends on a good note.
Yeah.
So
This is good. This you don't need to keep doing stuff. You have a great property, let it go. But it's available on Prime right now.
Yeah, I highly recommend this. Don't watch it with the kids.
It's not. If you want to watch a Santa Claus movie with your kids, let it be Christmas Chronicles and Christmas Chronicles 2.
On the 11th day of Christmas, we have It's a Wonderful Life from 1946.
Well, who are you? I told you, George, I'm your guardian angel.
What is it you want, Barry? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Sentimental hogwash.
I wish I had $1 million. Hot dog! Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home.
This is what I wished for.
You see, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Merry Christmas!
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right.
This depressing ass movie out of the way.
Dude, I like this movie.
I like this movie too.
I think during the time when everything was just happy, because they had rom-coms even back then.
Yeah, for sure.
And this was just dark.
Yeah.
And it was hard to be a dark movie back then, especially supposed to be uplifting as well, which it does do that as a good job. But the uplifting part is people get money, they're happier. That's the moral of the story that I took. That's what I took from it.
And I think people's memory of this movie, because I think most people know the movie and haven't really seen it. It's like, oh, it's a happy Christmas movie.
Oh, no, yeah.
It's not.
And that's true, because I thought the same thing. It's like, oh, someone had a rough day and like, I wish I never existed, because they always portray it like in kids stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish I'd never been born, or like,
this is a story that's been retold.
Yeah, this is a guy who business was gonna fucking fail, or he was gonna lose out. I forget it. The exact thing.
I think he's about to lose his business. Yeah.
He's like, oh man, I can't do Christmas. My kids, my wife, everybody's gonna be pissed at me. I'm letting everybody down.
I'm gonna go jump off a bridge.
Yeah. He was in charge of the bank, and he would just like loan money to people like on whims. Like trusting them, and then he found out no one was paying money back. He's like, oh, I'm so fucked.
Being a bad businessman.
Yes. So he's like, oh man, I'm so stupid. And he's like, we're gonna lose everything because I was so bad. I wish these people never met me so they could have better lives. But then Clarence shows up.
An angel, and shows him what his life was like. And it seemed like kind of a mixed bag, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Some stuff seemed okay.
Yes. Some stuff seemed better.
Yes. It was arguing. He's like, and then there was like, it kind of seemed like everything was like different and not necessarily worse. But then there was like one bad thing. He's like, no, okay, so I belong here. Like, no, you're what? I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you should die.
This is a classic movie. Even if you've never seen this movie, you've seen scenes from this movie, and there's so many other things that parody this, use this storyline. But it's there on movie history wise. This is a movie you should see just because of the history of this movie.
And it had one of the biggest stars at the time, Jimmy Stewart, in it.
Yeah, it sure did.
So,
yeah.
And Jimmy Stewart has a very unique way of talking. You've definitely heard him parodied a lot,
100%.
So,
and even if you don't know who he is, you've heard his voice.
Yes.
Or somebody sounding like him.
So this is available on Prime, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. If you haven't watched it in a while, rewatch it, and you can see what we're talking about. It's a little darker than I thought.
I've always thought the movie was dark as fuck.
Yeah.
And then I'll hear somebody go talk about it, and I'm like, what movie are you watching? Because this is not a happy Christmas movie.
I mean, it
ends
up happy
being.
because everybody comes and brings them money.
Yeah.
And things are okay.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. And then that's where you have that. Hear that? There's a bell. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets wings.
Yeah.
If you go watch Rocko's Modern Life, it's like your teacher's full of snot.
Do you want to go ahead and take us through the last day of Christmas?
Yes, on our 12th day of Christmas. Now, last year we did something a little different.
Yeah.
As you know, if you've listened to the show, you know what we usually do. And last year we pulled a little sneaky trickaroo on you and went Die Hard 2.
Yep.
But guess what? It's back to Die Hard.
So we are going with Die Hard from 1988.
Welcome to Los Angeles. Have a very Merry Christmas.
So your lady live out here?
About the past 6 months.
Why'd you come with her, man? What's up?
Because I'm a New York cop. Can't just pick up and go that easy.
John, I missed you.
You can
be carried out. But have no illusions, we are in charge.
Think, damn it, think.
We've got a fire alarm. I thought I told all of you I want radio silence.
Sorry, I didn't get that message.
Mayday, terrorists have seized the Nakatomi Plaza.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
Possible crank call. Check the area, confirm.
No signs of disturbance, dispatch.
Welcome to the party, pal!
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay.
You hang in there.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
Yeah, so
Yippee-ki-yay!
Yippee-ki-yay! We obviously went to Die Hard 2 last time after doing Die Hard 1 for the past 2 years before that, and now we're back to Die Hard because it's our Christmas movie.
It's not even arguable anymore. I think it's the joke is over. It's been over for a long time.
So every time I always, whenever I'm thinking about the list, or whenever I would imagine when you're putting a list on, try to put in number 12. I can't think of another movie that I would want in the 12 position.
I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to.
Now it's just an ongoing joke, and we probably just do 11 Days of Christmas, and you already know what the 12th one is. Cause
I do watch this every year.
I do too. Me and my wife, and I probably told this story on every single podcast we recorded, but we put the kids down for bed on Christmas Eve. We get our little eggnog or drinky and whatever, and then we instantly put Die Hard on.
Yeah.
And that's usually carries on, until forever. I'm going to do that. And I think I pointed it out to you last year. I always post a picture of John McClane getting on the plane and sitting next to that random actor, which I'm probably going to try to find his name.
Oh, he's in Ernest Saves Christmas as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And we said that last year. And I post a picture on that on social media every single year. And that's how I know it is Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I did watch Die Hard 2 on that time.
It wasn't the same though, was it?
It wasn't the same. Yeah.
It was like, it was fun.
It was all right.
And look, we get it.
I love Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2 is great. And we get it. This is not a new take. We've been saying this for a long time as well. I mean, I recently seen, now it's just known. So it's not even like a joke for people. Now it is a Christmas movie. And it's one of the easiest ones. I would argue that some of our ones on this list it's more debatable than Die Hard, including one that takes place about Santa. You'd be like Saint Nick, and it takes place on December 8th.
Yeah, it does. So, I forgot it. Yeah, it's early.
I mean, and it's just weird, and it's like, is it the actual Saint Nicholas, or
and the days takes place days after Christmas.
Yeah. And I have a comment. I mean, it's Christmas, but
nothing to do with Christmas.
And by the way, Christmas Day was when they wake up, and that day goes by quickly.
Yeah, it does.
Because then the rest of it's just like the following couple days after. Yeah. So I mean, it's
so Die Hard takes place on Christmas Eve, man.
The whole time.
The whole time. It's one day. They probably ends on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
it does actually.
Yeah. I mean, because it's still dark when they get out, so it's not like they're like, oh, it's daylight.
Everybody a couple days later.
Santa still has time to get everybody's house.
Obviously, look, Die Hard is one of me and Curtis' favorite movies. It's the reason why it's 12 on our every single Christmas list. It's Die Hard, man. It's Die Hard. It's Bruce Willis, man. It's Officer Winslow.
I love that. It's Carl Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
But Alan Rickman. I mean, I did that blog years ago.
Right.
Where he was Krampus.
Yeah.
To John McClane being Santa.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's great. So that is our 12 Days of Christmas. This is our, how many times we missed?
This is our fourth.
This is our fourth. Wow. I thought we've been doing it at Christmas this longer than that.
Nope, just 4. And we're already running out.
We're going to run out of Christmas movies. So
it's going to be unless we do Hallmark, and then it'll be forever.
They're
the same movie.
They're the same movie over and over again. Well, hang on. The Christmas Spirit Took Me. Guaranteed that's a movie. Just give me a random 3 words together. This is Christmas words. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead. I bet it's a movie.
Yuletide Log.
Guaranteed that's one. I mean, you just named something, but yeah. It's good. Anyway, Go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
But it takes place in Hawaii because the log is turned into a surfboard. Boom!
Boom! Okay, there's twist.
I'd watch that one. I'd watch that one.
Actually, Chris Jericho, the wrestler, he's about to play in a Christmas Hallmark movie. I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. Wrestling. Go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We love doing our list. Also wanted to say thank you for the end of the second year of season 2. So we've been doing this again for Volume 2 for 2 years now since we came back.
Yeah. And we've been regular at it, which I've been really happy about.
Surprisingly. Yeah. We haven't really dropped the ball and had really big gaps, and we haven't disappeared enough where you're like, well, I wonder if those guys are coming back. No, we're here. As long as we continue to enjoy to do it, we're going to continue to do it.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and the list stuff, it's harder than you think. So, I mean, when you look at a list online and you're like, I can write a better list, try it.
Like 50% of me and Critter's conversations is sending lists that other website do, and be like, how stupid is this fucking list?
Well, like, it'd be better if sometimes they put, like, if they would say in no particular, these are great movies, but, like, when they put something, like, I remember Terminator 2 wasn't the top movie of, like, sci-fi movies or some shit. I was like, and I think it was Alien that beat it.
Yeah, okay.
And it's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
Not to us.
But I was super
to other
pissed
people.
about it.
Yeah, but so thank you so much for joining the podcast over the past couple of years. It's the reason we continue to do it. Go leave us some reviews. We are obviously going in 2024. Is it 2024?
2024.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I turned 40.
Yeah. How about that?
I feel old. So yeah, thank you for the past couple of years of doing it over again, and we'll see you sometime in the new year.
Yep. We got to announce the movies for a double feature.
We're going to do a double feature right at the beginning of the year. Critter, you have a movie for me?
I do. And I picked this movie. I saw something random about it. I'm like, I've never seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, that would have really appealed to me at this time. It came out in 1990. I was like, this would have really appealed to me. And I know Chris would fucking love this movie. And it is called Dark Angel. And it's a Christmas movie.
Is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's arguably a Christmas movie. This has Dolph Lundgren, and that's all I really know.
Yeah, okay. Dolph Lundgren, Christmas movie, action movie? Okay.
Action sci-fi movie.
Action sci-fi movie.
Action sci-fi movie.
All right. And in my movie, it's going to be completely off of left field, and we're not really screwing each other like we said we were going to do. Because I think
that was you. I never say that. It's you trying to mess with me.
And we're going to be doing Big Man Japan that came out in 2007. And this has, I'm going to butcher his, Hidesho Matsumoto. I'm so bad with Japanese.
Hitachi Matsumo.
Yeah, that's right.
Matsumoto.
Yeah, that's right. And he is a comedian that I actually like from Japan, and he's part of a comedy duo called Downtown, and that's how I know him. But I didn't realize he made movies too, and I just randomly found this movie, and it looks interesting, and I haven't seen it. So
okay, all right.
So that's our 2 movies. We'll post a reminder of that a little maybe closer to the end of the year, so y'all can all watch this movie. I don't know where to find either one of the movies.
Yeah, me neither.
So good luck with that. But yeah, that has been our 12 days of Christmas. So we just want to say Merry Christmas to all y'all and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas, everybody.
And we will see you on the flip side. See you. We're going to end the podcast on that.
Later.
Later, dudes.
Merry Christmas.
You filthy animal.